Hello everybody, I'm William, and on the table today we have the Lighthouse, which features in my latest film, Wayward. Before I get into this, I'd just like to say thank you so much for the really great response that my film has got. It was my entry to the Spirit of Adventure contest, and so far I think it's getting a really good response, and it really means a lot. So as much as as much of a cliche as it all is, it really does mean the world to me. Hearing what you have to say about my film, and really good feedback, and I really appreciate it. So basically, this is a Lighthouse, which I believe features around the 1 minute mark in the film. It's literally only in one shot, and you see it for about 1 or 2 seconds, but nonetheless it's probably one of the sets that I feel happiest about. I think it's a shot that looks really nice, and so yeah, before I go into this, I just like to say a little bit of an introduction and just say that really with this film I wanted to really experiment more on set building. As this was a dialogue free film, I needed to really emphasize more on the visual storytelling side of things. So yeah, it was an interesting experience doing that without any dialogue or anything. I mean, I have done dialogue-free films before, but not quite to this level. So yeah, it was an interesting experience, and I really enjoyed it. Basically, this encouraged me to build bigger sets, as it needs to be visually pleasing, and you need these really good sets to really sort of tell your story. And yeah, it to give me the opportunity to build some quite ambitious sets, and this is probably my favourite one that I built. So I'm just going to go into sort of a little sort of tutorial on how I made it. And first of all, I'm just going to turn this around, and there you can see that the other side of it, it's not very pretty. But I mean, you've probably heard countless other animators say this, but I think it bears repeating. Don't worry about what the set may look like on the other side. It doesn't really matter. As long as what you see in shot looks good, then that's what matters. Don't try building these really impressive sets if no one's going to see them. Just do what the camera's going to see. Another thing, I think, an interesting point that I might just show you before I go into the tutorial. This was quite tricky to do. The sort of the top side of it. Now Lego purists might want to look away right now, because I did actually have some help from tack. Yeah, I used sticky tack for this bit. There was just no way that I could really build this conventionally. Unfortunately, I did have to use some sticky tack to stick it together. So yeah, not the most conventional way of doing things. Also not the strongest, but you don't see it in the shot. So again, am I supposed to say, it doesn't really matter how you do things, as long as it looks right and you get it done. And yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't. There's nothing I could really do to really without the use of sticky tack. But yeah, so yeah, this bit is quite fragile. It's quite hard to put together, but I did eventually manage to do it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to say. Yeah, that's the point. It's not very strong, this bit, but yeah, not really good for it to break apart. So I try to talk about how I made it, but yeah, this does happen quite a lot, unfortunately, with this set. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it.